Johnny, why this foreign name? Right. All good. I think my mom got it right, huh?
Got it right. Johnny, be good tonight.
Look, a lot of people ask, is it a stage name? Is it really your name or what?
But it is, right?
It's really my name, Johnny Mafra. Even a different last name too, right? My mom says it was a soap opera she watched.
So Mafra is also a compound name. Johnny Mafra.
No. It's a family surname. My mother's family, they say there's a little connection to Portugal, something like that. I don't know. No one ever sent an inheritance, an uncle, grandfather. I never received anything like that, but they say there's a little connection to that side. And Johnny, she says she saw a soap opera where there was an actor named Johnny, something like that. It ended up being Johnny. I was happy, I like it. And I ended up repeating the name for my son, Johnny, too. I said, oh, here's another Johnny for you. And according to him, his son, his grandson, will also be named Johnny to perpetuate it.
Man, let's start here with a topic we were discussing at the table, right? The podcast, man, is actually a continuation of what we talk about at the table, right?
Yes, you can say everything we were talking about there. Are you sure it won't cause any problems?
No, those producers you mentioned who didn't pay, there was an installment there too.
I recorded some tracks and the guy didn't pay. If you can talk later, I'd like to take the opportunity to charge them.
I'll talk later. All right. You said something really cool there, man. What is good equipment, right? Because here, we talk a lot about what people are using and some things that have really revolutionized, right, man. Sometimes the revolution isn't necessarily because it comes with an absurd technology, but sometimes the revolution is due to the price and access to cutting-edge technology, right? And then we talk a lot, obviously, here about the Tank G. No one knows if it's Tank G or Tank G because it's Chinese, my brother. So how do they say it? Tank G? But anyway, it brings a revolution through Kuvayev by providing access to IRs, right? Which are IR loaders. Then you said something that I found really cool, right, man? What is good equipment? Tell us your opinion.
Well, so this thing about equipment, sound, and tone is very relative, right? You will see various versions of the same subject. And it all revolves around the musician, how they play, how they apply it with their guitar, with their way of playing. But in my view, when I pick up a pedal board, what I expect from it is the same thing I expect from the real world. Let's talk about the virtual world and the real world. In the real world, you take a Fender amp. You take an Ibanez TS9. Plug in the guitar, turn on the amp. Flat, plug in the guitar, and the sound is already good. So, when I pick up a pedal board and do this same process and it already sounds beautiful, I say, wow, there's something interesting here.
And then you said, well, if I take a Kemper, this happens automatically.
This already happens. If I take a quad, this already happens. If I take a fractal, this already happens. So, these are things that make you happy. Of course, the price of this fun is much higher than that of a Tank D. Then you ask, but can you get a sound out of a Tank D? It also gives...
But let's go. I want you to talk more about this. You mentioned quad, fractal, and Kemper, right? Yes. Top of the line. You agree with me, right? The three they're alone, isolated. And you're a guy who practically...
I haven't played that Fender one yet, which a lot of people are praising.
Tonex, which I also agree with.
Tonex, this Fender. I forgot its name. I think it's Master something, right?
Fender Tone Master?
Yeah. They say it's top of the food chain there too, that it dominates.
Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah. So until we get to Tank G, we'll go through the others. Yes. Because I saw that basically almost everything has already been in your hands, right?
Yes, today I have a website, right? And I sell some presets. It started with people asking, hey, don't you make presets for such and such pedal board? Don't you make them for yours, for the Kemper? Today, what I use the most in my personal equipment is the Kemper, right? I used to use pedals, analog ones. But on the road for convenience, I ended up switching to the Kemper and thought, wow, everything's ready here. Quick. We get older, hair turns gray, back starts hurting. 2 cables going in, 1 cable. That's what I want. Wonderful. That bunch of cables on the little pedal causing issues.
My best friend's now with Kendrick.
Did you see the video of Dio May kicking the pedal board to make a faulty pedal work? There's a video on the internet. He goes to do a solo and it fails, then he kicks the pedal and it comes back. So if that happens to John Mayer, imagine me, right? On the road traveling in a Gol.
No. And John Mayer is like this. He gives it 2 kicks. It doesn't work. He just looks to the side.
Yeah, 2 guys come running and put 2 in place, right? So for practicality, I started using the Kemper. And then people started asking. I set up a website, started making the pedal boards. And today there are already many pedal boards. I think I've made almost all of them. There are some older ones that are hard to find. You keep advertising. Does anyone have one to lend to be able to make it? But I've gone through many. Some made me a bit sad. Some surprised me. I said, wow, that's cool.
But let's go then. You talked about the top of the chain. Let's go down this chain of what you remember, man. Below that, what would you put?
That's very relative. I'll say it. But I'm already apologizing in advance. You who are passionate about that pedal and all. Because there's that, right? There are almost the fan clubs that if you say something, the guy is already here. No. The Tank D is at the top? No, sorry. But I'll give my opinion. What do I think about categories? It could even be by price category, right? The price category already says a bit about that. You don't have a bet that costs $500,000, $800,000 and a goal that costs $100 just for the brand, do you? Is it just for the brand?
Yes, for sure.
I don't know if there's something else that made that product expensive. So at the top there, I would guess Kemper, Quad, Fractal. Going down, you already have the Helix, which is also very cool. There are really nice sound options there, and the price is a bit lower than that. You have the GT1000, which is also in that price range.
Then you would also include those, Valentona.
This Valentone is from a slightly lower and cheaper category.
Let's go.
If you think about the Helix, it's in a range. Today you find it for about $10,700. Wow, is it really?
Yes, it is.
Here we have $1, right? There's this thing that's nice. Multiply by 6 and something, and the game gets interesting.
Understand. Oh,
We find a way here in Brazil to have something bold, passing it from one friend to another, but everything is in that range.
so the Helix is in the range of almost 10 grand there.
Yeah, if you look at the Kemper, the Fractal, I think is even the most expensive of all, going over almost 20 like that. The Quad is also quite pricey, quite steep.
Today, the Nano Cortex arrived for me. Oh, cool, huh? When I was younger, I used to get more excited. My neighbor is there. I say, I'll pick it up later.
I'll pick it up with you later.
But I'm going to enjoy it.
You have to enjoy it. It's a world of possibilities and sounds. It's really cool, right?
You know that the ones who got me into this were Duda and Torquato, right? And I said, man, why should I buy it? I'll go to your house. I'll copy everything. I don't want to learn. I don't just want to copy and paste. No, I'm going to learn too.
And so this is a characteristic of these high-end devices. You have everything available on the market on the internet. You have the foreigners who made the capsules of the top amps. The Kemper has a gallery by Michael Bridge there. Man, everything from the guy is good. So if you want an old Fender sound, I don't know. You want a Fender Twin, you want a Marshall, I don't know. That Marshall with that old sound of... It has everything, man, and it's good. Like, you open it, it's good. Adjust the treble. A little say, man, good. Open another, also good. Open a Friedman, and also good. You say, wow, man, how cool.
People want to play for more hours, right?
Look at that.
But let's go. So you talked about the Helix, and along with it, you mentioned the GT1000.
Then there's the GT1000, which is also in that range of about 8, 10, around there. If I'm a little off, a little more, or a little less.
Anything else in that price category?
The Helix has the floor. There's...
No, but from other brands, no.
That I can remember right now. I don't think so. Those are the two I could remember. Going down a bit, you have the HX there, right? The HX is in the range of 5, 6. It's still quite interesting. Almost everything that's in the Helix in a slightly smaller format. As the processor increases, sometimes it can handle more effects. This is something that makes a big difference in multi-effects pedals. For example, can I get a good sound on the HX and the Kemper? I can... But on the HX, if I put a reverb, a heavier delay, it says, stop, don't add anything else, it freezes. You can't add more effects, you know. On the Kemper, I put the heavier reverb, add it again and again, and it's still running, asking what else you want to add, what more. It looks at you like, so my friend, what else do you want to add? So you have processing possibilities there that can accommodate more things. In these, as it decreases, it can handle fewer effects, you understand. So sometimes... I like, for example, in this more pop, more worship vibe, to use an intermediate reverb. and add one to give that bigger tail in the middle of a live performance, you know, a thing. You have there. Quickly, if you added another reverb to give that tail. In these others, it becomes a little more difficult because you can't add as many effects. The most beautiful effect is the heaviest, and you have to start removing everything. It gets kind of... You have some money to spend on that pedal board. You've already spent 800 reais on the reverb, brother. You only have 200 left for the drive, for the amp. It's like that, you know?
Yeah. I think a good analogy is the gym.
Look at that. I've never heard that one. I'm going to learn this one.
Let's go analogy, for example, Mitch here, Marlon at the gym there. What are the brands of the equipment there? Most of it is from Olympicos. Look, Olympicos, I don't even know that brand. But the top brands are Matrix and Light. Panata 2. It's just a very expensive piece of equipment, 50 grand, one piece of equipment. Can the guy stay a bit longer at the gym? Man, Mitch is big. He's working out there with the equipment.
You can see he's really working out. You can tell.
Then you come here to the gym with Matrix and Life Fitness, and there's a bunch of weaklings. Whose fault is it? So the equipment is good at the gyms here, but if the guy doesn't dedicate himself, if the guy dedicates himself there or here, he'll get results. But maybe over there, he pushes himself a bit more. Perhaps there aren't as many options. Maybe there are only 2 rowing machines, while here there are 5 with different angles. I think that's really it.
Absolutely, yes. We're talking about what the pedals can offer in terms of possibilities. But you'll see a guy playing with a Kemper with a sound that I found kind of ugly, and a guy with a Tank D that I said, man, what a great sound. So you're going to have that, right? Okay.
So let's continue here on the... and lowering the level of the setup here.
Then in the middle, there is the HX in that range.
HX.
Going down from the HX, you have the ones you mentioned, Ampere and Valiton. You have the Ampere stage. You have the Valiton GP200.
It's already enough for your guy to play at a professional level.
Yes, close to the HX. There's also the GX100, which was an interesting release. It's around 4,000 or 5,000, also quite interesting. Which brand is the GX from?
From Bosch.
From Bosch. Boys is a very old and quite interesting brand, right? Yes. I even feel like there's a need to make a point inside Boys to sponsor people more. I'm not even talking about myself, okay, boys? But if you want the gospel crowd to showcase more of these equipments, you see few musicians on the road using Boys. And there are so many cool features there. Boys pedals. I started using a little orange DS1, the yellow one, right? So the brand, man, was part of everyone's life. And I think today it could be a little more present.
For sure.
Among the musicians in the gospel market, it's not nothing but the number of churches there are, the amount of visibility. Duda is a voice, right? Duda is a voice, right? If you take someone like Cacao Santos, it's 500,000 followers, 400,000 followers. Cacao is a phenomenon, right? So you have this visibility.
Cacao is with Abro, which brings a group that brings the... Man, I don't know which one is the Head Rush. No, the other one... Let me check here. Hold on.
I'm terrible with names. I don't know. Cacao has a lot of stuff.
They started bringing a bunch of... He uses those, man. Those that cost $3,000, you know. And yeah, really. But then it doesn't work anymore.
He has Moore too, right? He has a partnership with Moore. Yeah, but it's Moore. That's it. There's Moore that's around too, which we...
From Abra. Abra is bringing Moore. It's more. It's more. We say it wrong.
That's right.
Our Brazilianized version of English. It's like those guys who added an extra O to the word man. Yeah, it's true. It must be Samo, really, because there's Head Rush, there's line 6.
Oh, where?
Arthur Cut Rush has line 6. No, Where's Rush has line 6. Head Rush is also in that category with Veltone.
It's around there too. Quite interesting.
Line 6 Meow Nux.
I made the presets for that old Head Rush, the gig board. It belonged to Pastor Ronaldo, Aline Barros' father.
Yes, Ronaldo.
Then he came and said, hey, make some presets for me and all. And then whenever a friend brings one, I make it and then make it available on the site, right? And it has a really nice sound too. I was impressed. And now I made one for the Prime, which is a big one.
Prime?
Yes, Head Washy Prime. Oh, I saw that one. It's huge.
Was that the one I tried out? Yes, it was.
Microphone input, auto-tune. I said, man, I don't even know how people are going to use this, but
it's cool.
Interesting. The guy will sing and promote it. It's huge.
But it's in the same style, for example, as the Quad. And what Line 6 song also started doing this, which from what I remember, I think in the X3 or XT, I can't remember, that already had this thing where you
A microphone input?
Microphone input, exactly. Which already had an effect processing just for this part of the voice, apart from the instrument part.
Various different outputs to send. Just the voice here, just the guitar there.
It's cool, right, man? It's cool. For someone who plays and sings, I think it's nice. So we're already at 2-3 grand, right?
Yeah, around that. But this Headwash Prime is a bit pricier.
Is there anything else in that category that you want to add?
There's Valiton. There's Ampero. There's more, right? More you spoke of. Let's see what I remember. There are the old boys ones that people still use a lot, right? A lot of people still have the GT100.
GTO.
GT1 people, right? GT. GT1 is not very much a GT. GT10 as well. People, make presets for the GT10, 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 GT10.
Does it accept IR?
That one doesn't accept IR. You have to do it on its simulations of the MP, which are already old there. There are some that don't have a USB cable. So you make the preset either write down the settings, send the person the configuration of each sound so they can copy it or take a photo of the screen and so on, you know.
Wow, really?
You have USB. To transfer the presets,
Do you sell that too?
I do it like that too. Because there's a guy there's a guy here desperate. Man, this is my pedal board. I said, little brother, don't you want to trade it? Isn't it possible? Well, no, I like it. I said, okay, let's see what we can do then. And I think I did it like that. I think it was the Boys MS-70. Got it. USB.
So when the guy buys it, actually the pack comes with a bunch of photos.
A bunch of photos, 30 presets, 30 photos. There are some that can't be done in photos because, like, each effect would be a photo. It's kind of complicated. But since this setup was all exposed there, each preset is a photo that already solves it. The guy can adjust everything.
He copies the photo. I had a problem with it. He's happy. Very good. Thank you very much. With the GT8, it was MIDI. On the GT8 to USB. Then I was like, okay, where am I going to find a MIDI USB cable? Man, I managed to connect it. It was in the photo setup, me in the photo setup. And then let's download it. Then Tant G arrived.
There it is near the tank. There are still some cheaper ones. More is 150. There's Nux, I don't know what. There are several models like this, cheaper ones. Even the GT1 is also in the range of about 700, 1600, 500. So it has this affordable price. And the cheapest one, which also delivers a lot for its price, is the tank for 450 reais, 500 reais. A pedal board that has Bluetooth. You set it up. You can adjust the effects via your phone. You transfer presets through your phone. It has IR. It has captures, so you can do a lot. Internal battery. Internal battery used without a power source. So it's something like the Chinese said, I'm going to enter with the BOID of the guitar, and I'm going to break into this market